An economic collapse in September. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, I'm Florian.Heise and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. I have my morning stein of coffee and I thought we'd start the day by having a look at this news.com article written by economist Jason Murphy, and he's discussing the economic bloodbath when JobKeeper and JobSeeker end. An economic collapse in September. Now we're seeing more and more of these articles being prepared, warning of what's going to happen once these support mechanisms to the economy are removed. Will that affect the recovery? Will we get that V-shaped recovery everyone is hoping for? Somehow. I doubt it. I don't think it'll be as drastic, though, as some people are predicting. I think there'll be a lot of people on JobKeeper or JobSeeker that are doing, that may be getting a mortgage holiday. And if they're smart, now this is where my theory falls down, but if they're smart, they may be doing everything they can to stash away every penny, to stash away every dollar. So the news will come out, this mechanism's removed, or they'll decant off. And then the actual impact of everything may take a bit longer to filter through. Beginning after Christmas, beginning of next year, January, February, once everyone's been a bit loosey-goosey, once the credit card's been swiped through the machines, once a few more drinks have been purchased, we had a happy new year, and then the afterpay bills start appearing, or the credit card bills start appearing, then we might see increased economic impact. Or it could be tough in September, and then even worse after that period. What's your theory, guys? What's your take? Let me know in the comments. So let's have a look at this article. Experts predict an economic bloodbath when JobKeeper and JobSeeker ends. In April, the number of businesses going bust actually decreased, but in roughly 100 days at the end, all that ends and an economic bloodbath will commence. We've been looking at lots of articles at the beginning of the year which was discussing just the retail recession we were having here, the retail apocalypse. One business after another. It felt like every day another one was just going down. This recession just got weirder. Despite hard times, companies are somehow not going broke. Everything is topsy-turvy. But are we just saving up pain for later? I keep a close eye on the ASIC's insolvency database, and when I opened it to check the April statistics, I couldn't believe my eyes. April 2020 was a month of insane economic uncertainty and gross financial turbulence, but the number of businesses going broke went down and not up. And you can see that online, everyone. You can jump and have a look. Often when I was going through a lot of those businesses that are going bust, we'd jump through and have a look at, because this is where in the insolvency database where they'd report where the creditors could have a meeting and put their claims on the assets of businesses. So companies entering external administration, so it's gone down from 615 in April last year to 410 this year. So what does that tell you? That tells you these businesses are holding on. How many businesses are getting the free monies, and are going to just keep extracting it while they can, and they might go bust directly after? We're going to see a jump in that. There are other ASIC concerns that we won't actually have enough liquidators. So April was a record. Not only is it lower than April last year, it's lower than each April before that, back to 2013. Wow. Okay, that is a big move. In fact, the number of businesses going bust in April this year is the third lowest month in the whole database, which goes back to 2013. We not only managed to prevent a bloodbath, we've kept most businesses alive, more businesses alive than would usually go broke. The economy is in recession. Things are supposed to be going to hell in a handbasket. So how come they're not going broke? I think we all know the answer to this. I mean, he's doing a good job guiding people through this narrative, but it's against the government support and stimulus. JobKeeper is a big reason for the high survival rate. Instead of paying their employees, suffering businesses can get the government to pay up to $1,500 a fortnight, and that dramatically relaxes their financial situation. Yes, because staff are a big part of any business, guys. I know people who are, consulting themselves and they're paying themselves. There are also new laws that specifically make it harder to send a business to the wall. Normally, if a business owes you money, you can apply to have it wrapped up. The administrators take over the business and try to get you what you're owed. Yes, and this is the thing. This is what really got me quite angry when they made these changes. Directors can trade insolvent now, pretty much. And because I've gone through this process, I've had people who've owed me money, and I've tried to chase them through these mechanisms. ASIC didn't do much. But nevertheless, I'm concerned of what these implications could have in the construction sector, guys. Because our game, getting paid on time, is rare as hen's teeth in the construction. It really is. But the government changed the laws for the pandemic. The minimum amount owing in order to start this process went up from $5,000 to $20,000. And businesses who get a warning about a debt now have a leisurely 6 months to respond instead of 21 days. What BS is that? There's a restaurant down the Gold Coast that's ripped me off $15,000. So I couldn't go through this process now. And they'd have 6 months to respond. Utter bastards. They're making these changes. So they're going to be people. They're going to be people who are doing work for businesses. And these businesses, the dodgy bastards, probably have no intention of paying. And are just going to take advantage of this. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. That probably explains a lot of what we're seeing. It's not that business conditions are better than we thought. It's that the laws have turned from tiger mum to cool uncle. No money? It asks businesses, cool, man, whatever, have fun. Pretty much, it feels like that. It really does. And a lot of people don't realize. I mean, think about this. Your staff are all getting paid from the government. And maybe they're just going to keep it running. You don't pay your bills for 6 months. That doesn't matter. Don't pay anything under $20,000 for 6 months. And that happens. Businesses drag out payments, particularly bigger businesses, to smaller players, smaller fish. And sometimes you're in a situation where you can't really say no, you got to put up with it. If you threaten to charge interest, if you threaten to take them to court, that as well is a whole other basket of pain. And I've had that happen. I've had, multi-millionaires that we've worked with that have screwed us. Brilliant, brilliant. Company directors are usually personally liable if their company trades while insolvent. You're not allowed to keep operating if you know your business can't pay its debt. But during the pandemic, the law has been changed so directors are not personally liable. I need a shot of my coffee. And that's great. I spilled coffee everywhere. And that's the issue that I really have with all of this. It's great to see this is making some headway and getting some exposure on news.com. These temporary laws mean you can owe people a lot of money, but you cannot go broke. And the law is set to change back on September 25th this year. So I didn't realize that was resetting in September. So we have another thing. We've got JobKeeper. We've got, the job seeker bonus. You've got the bank mortgage holidays. And now we have the insolvency protection removed on September 25th, which, frankly, I am annoyed that they even set that in place. I know why they did. But I definitely don't want them to extend this at all. So who isn't going broke? The biggest fall in insolvencies was among construction companies. Usually over 100 construction companies go bust each month. In April, it was around 40. Now, I'm sure there are a lot of tradies in the comments. I know a lot of you watch the channel that have got experience with slow payments, particularly from construction companies, particularly from builders. And some of them do whatever they can to stretch out the payment. Have you ever heard the old paid when paid line, which is illegal? They can't do that. They can't do paid when paid. That's it. I mean, what was it? I did some work at Christmas and it took 3.5 months to get paid. That's just, some of them, the terms they have are just utterly insane. But that's the game. You got to get used to it. But oh boy. Yeah, this is what worries me. This is why with this government stimulus, the housing stimulus, the $25,000 bonus to get you to buy or build a new home or to build an extension. This is what worries me about this, is that you're going to have players who are insolvent, who are trading insolvent right now, who win these contracts and are taking people's homes halfway through, and then boom, go bust. What do you reckon? That's what scares me about the bloody thing. I'd rather, just go, keep the 25 grand. I'll wait until the September the year after, when a lot of the dead wood has been flushed out of the system. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Even retailers sailed through April. Only half as many retailers went bust in April compared to 2019. Cafes and restaurants were also more likely to survive this year than last. The number of companies entering administration in the category of accommodation and food services was down 40%. There was only one category where more companies than usual were going bust. Transport. Really? Transport, postal and warehousing. I suspect that's a bunch of Uber drivers who were set up as a company, didn't qualify for JobKeeper for various reasons, and instead got wound up. Okay. That's, yeah. Because I'm thinking postal, transport, everyone's ordering stuff online. It should be booming. So what does it mean to go into administration? When a company enters administration, it owes more money than it can repay, like a lot of countries. Funny that. It is insolvent. Administrators are Administrators are special financial professionals who take over broke companies. They have a legally defined responsibility to work for the people who are owed money, and they try to either get the business functioning again or sell whatever they can. Whoever owned the business before now owns nothing. The people who are owed money are now the proprietors. The employees, banks who gave the business loans, and anyone with an outstanding bill. Tradies who worked for the company before it went broke. Yeah, and that's the one that's going to hit a lot of people. Because tradies, I'm an architect. I work for builders. What are my costs? My costs are labor, software, electricity, maybe printing. That's my costs. It's compared to some of my tradie mates, they're working for a builder and they're putting in hundreds of thousands of dollars of light or signage or, stud work into these buildings. They have to front run it until they get paid. So what happens to all that equipment they put into the building, to all that money they had to spend on stuff that's already bolted down? And then, the builder got paid for it. He technically got paid for it. So the owner of the builder now owns that stuff, but never paid the tradies because they used the money on another project. That's the scary part of this. That's you hear the horror stories of some of these guys with 70,000 debt just going under, and it's heartbreaking. It really is because, and then you've got industry trade accounts. All these things that are set up to try and mitigate that. I've got little confidence it'll work. It never seems to. In some cases, the administrators can sell the whole business, Virgin Australia and Harris Scarf. But to those who went into administration, but will come out back with new owners. Sometimes administrators can sell a brand name. Dick Smith went to administration a few years ago, and Kogan bought the name. Really? I wonder why. Sometimes the administrators can only sell the office chairs because the business is truly worth nothing. That's a bad day for the people hoping to get some money back. They will only get a few cents for each dollar they were owed. Yeah, that's the thing. And that's why, I'm a fan of standing desks. Sunshine and rainbows now. What happens in September? In September, around 100 days from now, all the policies that have been propping up the Aussie economy are due to be swept away. JobKeeper stops. Job seeker supplement goes away. And the dole goes back to being bare bones. And the laws around insolvency revert back to being mean ones with sharp teeth. That could lead to a wave of collapses. Yeah, if people are owed money, they're going to be waiting. They're going to be waiting for that date. Their accountants will be sitting there, Their accountants will be sitting there, guys, going, I've been owed this money since last financial year. Can you hit it for me? Can you get them? And goes, wait till September. Then we'll put this claim in. They'll do it. Better garden, everyone. Australia has done a great job of managing the early stage of this recession. The economic downturn will probably be shallower than ever expected, the RBA said this week. That's great news, but we also need to recover well, and that means being careful as we try to get back to normal. The RBA has promised to keep low interest rates in place for years, which is very helpful, but the Treasury is planning to remove a lot of supports in September. Right now, the Australian economy is like a Jenga tower, and the bottom level of blocks are all due to be pulled out in September. If that happens, the clattering noise you hear will be thousands of Aussie businesses falling over at once. But the sad thing is, some of those businesses should have already fallen over. Some of those businesses know they're trading insolvent and are probably hoping for a turnaround. We saw the issue with Archiblock as well, 5.5 million. And then people's homes are just sitting there in the air, or unfinished, or still in the yard. That is the thing I'm really worried about with regards to this home builder stimulus and this legislation. This one really scares me. It really does. And a lot of people wouldn't appreciate it. Unless you've been in small business, you wouldn't appreciate it. Everyone in construction would. I guarantee you, every tradie who's got their own small business is probably as worried about this as I am. Or if they're only hearing about it now, guys, let me know your thoughts about that. You know, what's the longest you've ever taken to get paid back? What's the longest you've ever taken? It's just, yeah, I mean, there's some pretty bad stories. As always, thanks for watching. Please let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. What do you think about September? Do you think they'll continue that? Do you think they will keep this change? And should people be able to trade while insolvent? Because that's really the only benefit of doing business with a company. There's that benefit. As always, thanks for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you're a fan of the channel and want to help us, there are a few ways you can. You can interact with the channel. That helps beat the YouTube algorithms. You can support us financially via joining us on YouTube or Patreon, supporting us via our affiliate links, buying our merch from HeiseSays, using Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or using PayPal. Take care, everyone. I'll see you next time.